okay, you got to put down the baby you're holding, the pet you're carrying, the fragile plant you're moving from room to room. This is one of those topics that might make you drop it, and I don't want to be responsible for any droppings. Okay, so get situated. Here we go. Nintendo has been behaving real weird this year, and everybody thinks they'll get back on course. It is August, and September is next, and that's when we think Nintendo will have their big presentation. But I want to talk about the fact that September Direct may not happen, and I think we need to prepare ourselves for this reality. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you're all having a great day. I'm not here to make it worse. I'm just here to have a conversation, all right? Now Nintendo could have it. They've had their September Directs early in the month, third week of the month, not really towards the end of the month. And if they do have one this year, Tokyo Game Show is September 15th through 18th. So I believe Nintendo would want to go before then. They'd probably want to go after Splatoon 3, although they could use the Direct to kind of hype up Splatoon 3. So really, any of the first 2 weeks of September, anywhere in there, fair game. And Nintendo probably wants to share more information about what's going on, but do they need to? Nintendo's been very strange. They did not have a Summer Direct, yet they used many, many weeks of the summer to slowly roll out information, new games, updates, and more. There's some things that they have yet to talk about, but by all accounts, their fall is good as gold. They don't need to announce anything else, especially if they're going to shift Advance Wars Reboot Camp to next spring, as we've seen leaked by some retailers with their pre-order dates. There is a chance, my friends, that Nintendo does not need another big Direct this year. Let that sink in. Goodness gracious. Part of this is because the Switch is so successful. Okay, part of this is because the Switch does so well. Their last financial call, we saw a drop in Switch performance, but the only reason is because of chip shortages. It's not because of demand shortage. It's not because of desire shortage. It's not because of great game shortage. The Switch is cruising, and Nintendo, they don't need directs. And this is sort of the dicey game companies play. It's like, we're so successful, we can coast. But how long can you coast for before it becomes apparent that you're coasting? Now, we know that they've got Breath of the Wild 2. That's coming next spring, but what else? We don't know. Now, Nintendo may want to get out ahead and say, hey, it's September. We'd like to let you know what's coming in January and February and beyond. But if Advance Wars Reboot Camp is taking one of those slots, say in January or February, they just tweet that out. That's already been in a Direct. Look, that game is not worthy of having a Direct for. And depending on where Breath of the Wild 2 is at, they probably want to have a special presentation just for that game. That's my guess. They could throw it in a general Direct, but why not have a special presentation and then you don't have to do a general Direct? It seems like right now, Nintendo may be of the mindset that they don't want to do a general Direct. Now, we have heard from Jeff Grubb and Emily Rogers and others that Metroid Prime Remastered is a big thing. And you better hope that this is a big thing, because this is your best chance of getting a Direct. I honestly believe that Metroid Prime Remastered, this is the crux of if there's a September Direct, is Metroid Prime Remastered coming out this year. Because if Metroid Prime Remastered is coming out this year, and you have some Zelda to tease, and maybe you want to update Switch Online, because remember, they didn't do anything for that over the summer. They didn't add anything new to the expansion pack. They didn't add any new classic games consoles. It's due for an update. So now you have the Advance Wars early year 2023 date. You've got Metroid Prime Remastered to unveil. You've got Switch Online. You got Breath. Now you have yourselves a Direct. But if Metroid Prime Remastered either A, is just wrong, or B, is not coming out till next year, I hate to say it, but I don't think Nintendo needs a Direct. And that's like heartbreaking for me. Like, I can literally feel these muscles tensing up. Ugh, come on. It's been so long. I love Directs. Having a February only Direct year would be super sad. It's not just about the games they have to announce, it's about the hype and the enthusiasm. And maybe if they don't do a Splatoon dedicated, maybe they can just put Splatoon information in an early September Direct, although that's pushing it kind of close. Splatoon 3 launches September 9th. We know next to nothing about the game except more Splatoon. They have to show off more soon, and I expect that to happen in August. I don't know that they can afford to wait till September. That's so close to the launch of the game, and it doesn't seem like Nintendo. Although they have used reduced cycles as of late, right? Remember, they're like, Kirby's Dream Buffet, it's out this summer. And a couple years ago, they were like, Paper Mario and the Origami King. out in 2 months. So they're not opposed to having really reduced cycles, but a week is like, that's really cutting it close to get like the main marketing out about why this game is worth your $60. So there's a bunch of different factors, and how they do things in the coming weeks will really indicate, I think, if there's going to be a direct. Like, if we see a Splatoon direct and we get a Metroid Prime Twitter announcement, whew, call it off. I don't know what else they would have, right? We just had a Pokemon Presents. Mario Kart Wave 2 is out there. They chose to sort of let the summer pass by. Now, they could do another third party. I think they'll do an Indie World, but I'm starting to get worried about the General Direct. If I had to bet right now, I'd say, okay, probably. But the only reason I say that is because Nintendo has always done September before. They don't need to follow patterns. And they've, in fact, specifically said, we may change methods of how we do things. And that clearly has come into play this summer. They changed methods of how they did things with a summer direct. There was no real big excuse for it. They just didn't feel like they wanted to do one. And September is going to be real interesting. It's going to be real interesting. Now, maybe they do go the opposite route and they just want to really tease 2023. Because look, we have Breath of the Wild 2, Metroid Prime 4 is somewhere in the distance, and we've seen a leaked Fire Emblem game, and Metroid Prime Remastered rumors, and Advance Wars is out there somewhere. There's also that Everybody's 1-2 Switch that is apparently sitting in Nintendo's purgatory. Like, Mario and Wario are fighting over what to do with it. There are things, but officially there isn't much. There isn't much of anything for 2023, and maybe Nintendo does want to get out ahead. That's like typical Nintendo. They want to tease the next year, and so I could see them having a big show in September. This could be a big show. It's not all doom and gloom. Like, there is a chance this show is phenomenal. Throw in some Animal Crossing spin-off for 2023, tease some big new revival of F-Zero or Kid Icarus. Star Fox is coming back. There's surprises galore that could make a September Direct super great. There's also freaking Hollow Knight Silksong, which could pop at an Indie Direct, could pop at a General Direct, could pop on Twitter, could get delayed and not pop at all. Yikes. It's just a very, very unsure time right now for Nintendo. I think it's the most nebulous it's ever been. We do have a good lineup with Splatoon and Bayonetta, Mario plus Rabbids, and Pokemon. We're set. But then it's just like really up in the air. Breath of the Wild 2 is even up in the air. We don't have a set date. We know spring. We don't even know the game's title. We know so little. So they could do a September Direct all focused on Breath of the Wild 2. That's a possibility as well. Although just Breath of the Wild 2 doesn't seem like a general direct, right? Like, think about how Nintendo structures things. They usually have multiple longer segments about big games. Maybe there's a focused game, there's a surprise, there's a few new treats, there's some third-party stuff. They had a third-party showcase. We know Marvel Midnight Suns is coming. We know Hogwarts Legacy is coming. It's going to be freaky, friends. It's going to be real weird, and I'd love to know if you think that we are going to get the September Direct or not. I'm like 60-40 right now, and that's the most unsure I've been about an upcoming Direct in forever, okay? Until they started skipping them, I never would have said there's a 40% chance that they do it, or don't do it. But now we're in a position where Nintendo, like, they play by their own rules, and they've set things up in a way that they conceivably could just not give new information until next year. If that's the way they want to roll things, it seems like there's not going to be a big new console reveal, right? Like, oh, we got the Splatoon OLED. The Switch is still selling like crazy. They can't meet demand. They'll try to gear up for the holidays as best they can. Pokemon's going to sell a gajillion copies. Splatoon hopefully comes through, and maybe they, there still are delays happening. There still are difficulties happening. And we do have all these lurking rumors, but we don't have anything really official. And that plays both ways. We don't have anything, so there's nothing to talk about. We don't have anything, so they need to talk about it. I'm super excited by the prospect that this is all happening soon. Like, summer seemed like it was going on forever. Back when it was June 10th, June 11th, June 12th, and we were waiting for the Nintendo Direct that never appeared, it was like sludge. It was like walking through molasses. And now, boom, September's going to be here before you know it. And I guess the silver lining is, even if we don't get a Direct, well, we can play Splatoon. And we should have an Indie World. So things are going to happen. But I don't know about the general. I think there's going to be a lot of rumors. I think there's going to be a lot of hype. And I think there's going to be a lot of speculation. But as summer showed us, we won't know for sure until Nintendo says it themselves. So stay tuned. I'll let you know what we hear. I'll let you know what's going on. I'll let you know if anything comes to me. But in the meantime, what do you think is going to happen? September Direct or not? Is it happening? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you're all enjoying yourselves. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. And until next time, love you lots. SwitchForce out.